So here we go, a little bit of toast, frittata. It's still hot. So good. Well, hi, I'm Amy Roloff, and I'm in my little kitchen. I will tell you this, the day got away from me. It is morning time, and it's not even daylight savings time yet, and I'm already an hour behind. I got up later than I thought I was gonna get up. So I'm just gonna make a really quick breakfast. One of the things I love about a frittata, it is easy. Again, just like a soup, there's some prep work you have to do depending on what you really want to put in it. I have some chorizo, ground chorizo here, and so I'm gonna incorporate that into this frittata, plus some vegetables that I have on hand, or you can even use canned vegetables, whatever it may be. The one thing that I've read up on, which really helped me, because I'm always like, okay, on a frittata, it's definitely different than scrambled eggs, but you need eggs, but you also need a liquid. So the recommendation thing is maybe about 6 eggs to about 1/4 cup of cream. So if you have a little bit more eggs, just make those adjustments. This is just for Chris and I, so I am really doing the minimal. I would think for a big family in one of those big 9 by 13 baking dishes, you could almost go up to 12 eggs and incorporate whatever vegetables, bacon, or whatever else you may need into it, and then maybe use about 1/2 cup of cream. I'm only going to use about 6, but I really have 5 eggs here. I got to go out to the grocery store and get some eggs. So I'm going to adjust that cream just a little bit and the quantities here. In order for the egg to adhere to some of the stuff that you put in your frittata, the one thing I always do is, I don't have spinach, so I'm not adding spinach here, but spinach is a very, very good option. Maybe dust it with a little bit of flour before you incorporate it within your frittata. You can also just wilt it just a little bit after you've cooked up like maybe your potatoes, your meat, whatever other veggies. Put the spinach on top, wilt it a little bit, and then put your egg mixture on. So anyway, we're making a frittata. I'm gonna kind of call this a cowboy frittata because it's a mix of a variety of stuff. So I'm gonna put a little bit of kidney beans in it. In fact, I'm having them here dry on a little paper towel so the eggs will adhere to it a little bit. We'll see if that works. I am gonna put in just a little bit of corn, some shaved Brussels sprouts, which I'm gonna hopefully brown a little bit in this pan over here before I cook up this. I forgot my onion. Better get my onion. And we're definitely gonna have a little bit of potatoes, a little bit of mushrooms, and I might even stick a little bit of a jalapeno pepper in there. So we're making a frittata today. So I got my onion out. It's been in the fridge. So I'm hoping as I cut this up for you guys, my eyes won't water, my makeup won't, or my mascara or whatever won't come all over the place. Anyway, I am going to, my pan is hot, so I'm just gonna add in these kind of thinly sliced Brussels sprouts and kind of add that in there. Oh yeah, I can hear it crackling. Let me bring you guys over here. So we got all our stuff there. There we go. This should not take long. I just wanted them tenderized a little bit, and I'm hoping they'll get a little bit crispy. If not crispy, at least soft. Because eggs are so soft, you don't want crunchy stuff, I don't think, in your frittata. Oh yeah. See how they're turning a little bit brown there? Right there a little bit. Might have to add a little bit more. Okay, this is almost done. Then we're gonna put that in a little bowl and get ready to cut up the rest of my, oops, sorry about that, guys. The rest of my stuff. Where's a bowl? I'm just gonna scoop this up in a little bowl here. I always forget that with these cast irons, the handle is, oh, sorry. I love these pans, but I tell you, they are heavy for me. So we're just gonna scoop this in here because we don't want it to continue to cook. I think that'll be enough. Boy, I even want a little bit more. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just thinly slice another Brussels sprouts. I was thinking 3 Brussels sprouts may be a little too much, but I think it'll be okay. And I didn't salt this because I didn't want it, I wanted it to crisp up and not have it cook in its own water. So I think that's about enough. And I did put some butter in there, so if your butter has a little bit of salt, I think that's plenty. Okay, let's just cook this up a little bit. This is one little Brussels sprout. And then we're gonna get going on cutting up the rest of the stuff. So I've got the potatoes here. I've got 2 red potatoes. Just gonna cut them up thinly. Not paper thin, but just thin enough so they cook. And if you don't want to cut them up thinly, or thin slices thinly, thin slices, just cut them up in little chunks. So here we got 1 potato. In fact, 1 potato may be enough. I gotta go check my Brussels sprouts. Then we'll get these cooking. We're gonna just drizzle a little bit of olive oil in here. Okay, these are done. Just gonna put them in this little bowl here. There we go. And then I'm going to get a little bit of butter. A little bit of butter there. We're just going to cook up our potatoes a little bit. And then what we're going to do is put all the vegetables in a little bowl as we cook up the meat. I'm going to go ahead and do another potato. At least half of one. And while that's cooking, I am going to do a little bit of this onion. Get out the core there. By the time you cut up all your vegetables, this really only takes maybe about 10 minutes to cook. You want it to set, the frittata, the egg mixture to set in the pan before you put it in the oven. I will finish cooking this in the oven. So definitely get an oven, proof pan. Should have got my other knife for this. I just want a few onions. I don't want a lot. So we'll just cut this. This is definitely the wrong knife for this. We're just going to go ahead and cook this in with the potatoes. Get those potatoes a little bit soft. And I don't want big chunks of onions, so I'm going to not mince them, but definitely finely chop. Okay. Where's my... So we're going to add the onions to the pan over here. Hi, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you are enjoying it, and I would really appreciate it if you liked it and subscribe to it. And oh, don't forget to click that little bell up there, and you'll be notified of future videos that are new and coming on my YouTube channel. So thank you so much for that. And I would really appreciate it if you shared the video and let other people know and encourage them to subscribe and like the videos as well. So anyway, thank you, and back to the video. So here we are, just sauteing the potatoes and the onions. I just want to soften these up before they continue to bake in the egg mixture. That is my oven telling me it's ready. There you go. We'll just let this cook for a little bit. And I'm going to add the meat. Well, I'll take this out and then add the meat. Because it's only Chris and I only have about maybe, I don't know, half a pound of chorizo. I don't think that's right. I don't think I said that right. What else is new, huh? Chorizo. Okay, there we go. We'll wait till that cooks a little bit more. Okay, I decided not to use the jalapeno because I think the chorizo, ground up chorizo is going to be spicy enough for, at least for me. But feel free to go ahead and... So why am I calling this cowboy? I don't know. It's got corn in it. It's got potatoes. It's got onions. It's kind of got, things that you probably already have in your kitchen sink. It's got a little bit of kidney beans in there. If you don't want to use kidney beans, don't. And I have a little bit of Brussels sprouts and potatoes. So anyway, I just thought it was a pretty good thing. So I'm going to add this little red pepper to my potatoes and onions over here. And then I'm going to go ahead and add my beans and corn so I can just put that all in one little bowl, cook up the meat, and then we'll drain off the meat if you've got enough fat or grease. And then we're going to add back the vegetables, warm that up a little bit, and then we'll put the egg on top. So here is, my mushrooms and my Brussels sprouts, kidney beans, corn. There's my meat at our local butcher shop, which is called The Meeting Place. Just gonna kind of stir this around a little bit. And this is like a red pepper. It's not really hot, but it'll just give a hint of spice. And the other thing, if you do want a little more spice to this, add a little bit of red pepper flakes. I think these are soft enough. So I'm just gonna add in the kidney beans. These are canned kidney beans, so really all you have to do is warm them up a little bit. Then I'm gonna add the corn. And I got fire roasted corn. Chris really doesn't like corn, so I'm not gonna add a whole lot to here. And I think with the sauteed fried Brussels sprouts, this is gonna look really good. And I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit of parsley in here to kind of add, you know, a little bit of herb, but also a little bit of spice. Oh, the one thing I forgot about this was garlic. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and cut up a little garlic. We need a little garlic for this. So here it is. Okay, so I just put in 1 clove of garlic, just minced it up a little bit, add a little bit of flavor to this. I almost want a little bit of chili powder, which I may add that. Add a little bit of chili powder to this. Just a little bit, because I know that the meat will definitely have a little spice, so I don't want to add too much. So just a dash of chili powder. Okay, I'm gonna get the Brussels sprouts in here just to warm it up, put it in a bowl, get that meat going. Kind of have all these things mixed together here. Yeah, there we go. So I'm gonna call this my Cowboy Frittata. Okay. I'm just gonna put this in a little bowl over here, then we'll get the meat cooking. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get my egg mixture going on here. Hopefully, I will not, oops. Well, that's a big shell. I was gonna say, hopefully I won't get any eggs in here. So we're making what I'm gonna call just a Cowboy Frittata. Bacon would have been good in this too, but I had some of this chorizo meat that I needed to use up. And so I wanted to use that. But I think bacon would go absolutely wonderful in this too. So you can find this recipe and all my other recipes over on my YouTube channel. Just go to Amy Roloff's Little Kitchen, check it out, subscribe to it, I would love it. Because I only have 5 eggs in here, I'm not gonna use quite a 1/4 cup of whipping cream or heavy cream, or just cream. So I'm going to do a little bit short of that. Mix that in a little bit. The chorizo meat it's got a lot of spices in there. So I'm not even going to add salt to these eggs. Okay, then we're gonna go get the vegetables back into the meat, pour this over it, just get the eggs set just a little bit before we finish cooking it in the oven. So we're making a Cowboy Frittata in my little kitchen. Okay, so I think there is one important ingredient I forgot to mention in making this frittata. I knew I was missing something. In order to, because you're putting all of this stuff in the frittata, to give it some structure, you may need some flour. So because I only have, if I had 6 eggs, I would probably add 2 tablespoons of flour, but I'm only gonna add a little bit more than 1 tablespoon. And we're only going to add in maybe a 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. And instead of combining that in the egg, I'm going to mix this all together. I'm going to add this into the meat and the vegetables and then pour the egg over it. So I got my flour here. I just blended just till they're incorporated. So let's head on over to the stove. Okay, so my meat is all cooked. I'm gonna go ahead and add in the veggies. I probably have a little more veggies and meat than I really wanted, but it's gonna be so good. Just mix that around a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and sprinkle some of the flour mixture. Just kind of gently mix that in because you want some of the egg to hit it as well. Okay, then we're gonna pour over the egg mixture. Get all of that goodness out of there. One thing I probably should have done was oil the bottom of this pan. Just kind of get the egg mixture, make sure it's all over everything. And I think it's starting to set around the edges here. I'll bring you over here. I think it's beginning to set around this edge here. And so I've got it in, I'm gonna put it in a 350-degree oven, and this probably will only take maybe 8 minutes, maybe not even 10. So this is our Cowboy Frittata. Hey, I just pulled out the frittata. And look at that. I love this kind of egg dish. It's easy, it's not too difficult. In fact, Tillamook, my local cheese place here, I'm gonna just kind of do a little bit of cheese on it because I like cheese and eggs too. And I did not put cheese in this, but I think on top it will go well. I think this is a great dish for lunch, dinner, any time of day. We're having it probably for a late breakfast or an early brunch. So we're just gonna have that cheese melt on there a little bit. And just sprinkle a little bit of parsley on it. This is great served with tomatoes, a little bit of toast, or if you're doing it for dinner or lunch, a little light green salad. So here we go. That's still hot. We have frittata for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Amy Roloff's Little Kitchen. So go to my YouTube channel, Amy Roloff's Little Kitchen, and check out the other recipes and this one that'll be coming your way. So enjoy. Let me slice it up. I'm hoping that this will come out of the pan well enough because I forgot kind of like rinse it. There you go. It's almost like a crustless quiche. You can serve it with maybe a little bit of sour cream or obviously ketchup. Let me take a bite of it. So here we go, a little bit of toast, frittata. It's still hot. So good. I love this dish because it's a lot easier than making an individual omelet or anything like that. It's like having a quiche without making the crust. It's a little more sophisticated or a little bit more heartier than maybe just scrambled eggs. So, and this can serve a large amount of people. And so you just use a bigger pan or put it in something else. But anyway, frittata's on this menu today at Amy Roloff's Little Kitchen. So until next time, see you guys later. Oh, it's so good.